All right, if you guys would, please find your worksheet called Adding and Subtracting Positive Rational Numbers Practice. We're going to take a look here at letter A, and we're going to look at number 1. So determine each sum or difference. So remember, sum is when we are adding, and difference is when we are subtracting. So one of the key things that you guys need to remember when adding or subtracting with fractions is you need to find a common denominator. Okay, we cannot add or subtract with unlike denominators. All right, so I see that I have 3 over 4 minus 2 over 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the multiples of 3 and I'm going to find the multiples of 4. So 3, I'm going to have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. 4, I'm going to have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And I want to find the one with the least common multiple between these two numbers. And I see that it's going to be 12. Now, to get from 3 to 12, I'm going to multiply 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So everywhere I see a 3 for this, I'm going to multiply it by 4, both on top and bottom. And then for 3 over 4, to get 4 to 12, I'm going to multiply it by 3. And what you do on bottom, you must do the same thing on top. All right, so 3 times 3, I'm going to have 9 over 3 times 4 is 12. Minus, well, 2 times 4 is 8. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Now I can find the difference between the two because I have the same denominator. When you add or subtract your fractions, you never add or subtract the denominators. The denominator will always stay the same. So I'm going to have a 12 on the bottom. And all I'm going to do is add or subtract the top. So 9 minus 8 is 1. So 3/4 minus 2/3 is equal to 1/12. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So I have 2 and 1/2, and then I have 1 and 3/4. I need to find a common denominator between the two. So I'm actually going to go ahead I'm going to pull out my 2 whole numbers right here. So 2 plus 1. I have 3 wholes. And now I'm going to add my 2 fractions. So I'm going to have 1/2 plus 3 over 4. Well, I know that 2 and 4 are not the same number, so I need to find the least common multiple between the two. Well, I know that 2, I can multiply a number by to get to 4, and I'm going to multiply 2 by 2 to get to 4. And what I do on bottom, I must do the exact same thing on top. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then I'm going to leave 3 over 4 the same. Now I can add my 2 fractions together. Well, 4 and 4, I'm going to leave it as 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now let's take a look. This is an improper fraction, meaning I need to turn this into a mixed number. I know that 4 can go into 5 one full time. So then 5 minus 4 is 1 is left over, and my denominator is the same. Now, this is not your final answer because you have to come back here and add in your original 3 wholes. So I have 3 wholes plus 1 more whole, and that's going to get me 4 wholes and 1/4. That is what is left. 4 wholes and 1/4. All right, now I am going to do the exact same thing for this one. Let's see, do I want to do it that way or do I want to do it the other way? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it this way. All right, so I'm going to take my 2 wholes. I'm going to pull them out. So I'm going to do 2 minus 1, which is 1 whole in total. And then I'm going to have 1/2 minus 3 over 4. Well, I know that up here I can multiply 2 by 2 to get me to 4. So then I'm going to have 2 over 4 minus 3 over 4. And well, 4 stays as my denominator. Well, 2 minus 3, reality, you say you really can't do it, but you can. If you think of your number line, I have 2 positives with 3 negatives. I have more negatives and I have 1 more negative. Now, I have to come and combine these 2 things together. So I have 1 whole minus 1/4. Okay. Now, how do we think that we can turn this 1 whole into a fraction so I can subtract this 1 whole from my fraction? 1 whole is equal to, so I'm going to do this right here. So 1 whole is equal to 4 over 4 as a fraction because 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. So I'm going to have 4 over 4 minus 1 over 4, and 4 minus 1 is 3, and my denominator stays the same. So my final answer for this one is 3 over 4. All right, so Vanessa simplified 3 numerical expressions below. Determine whether or not her calculations were done correctly. If she did not calculate it correctly, determine the reason for her mistake. Okay, so this is what she has. She has 245.231 plus 76. So she did 245.231 plus 76, and she got 245.307. Was Vanessa correct on this first problem? The answer should be no. Okay. And what was her reasoning is when you are adding or subtracting decimals, you need to line up your decimal. So when I look at the whole number of 76, where is my decimal located that we don't see? It's right here at the end of 76. So in order to correctly add these, so 245.231, Vanessa needs to have the 76 right here with her decimal, so they're lined up. And then all of these empty spaces end up with a 0. Okay? And let's go ahead and add this up for her. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 plus 5 is 11, carry the 1. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 1 more is 12, carry the 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So I'm going to bring down my decimal, and she should have received 321.231. All right, number 2. It is 123.1 minus 4.68. And so this is what Vanessa did, is 123.1 minus 4.68. So it looks like she had to borrow from the 3, turn that into a 2, make that a 1. Borrow from the 2, make that a 1, turn that into a 12. And she received 118.58. Did Vanessa subtract her decimals correctly? The answer here, again, should be no. Now, Vanessa, what she did is she borrowed and carried correctly, but we still have to do a number minus 8. I can't just bring down the 8. That's not how subtraction works. Now, addition, I could have brought down the 8. So she lined up her decimals correctly this time. And then let's go ahead and actually help Vanessa and subtract these numbers here. So I need to add a 0 here, and now I can subtract. Well, 0 minus 8, I can't do it, so I have to borrow and carry. So 10 minus 8 is 2. I can't do 0 minus 6, so I'm going to borrow and carry as well. Well, 10 minus 6 is 4. Bring down my decimal. I can't do 2 minus 4, so I'm going to borrow one more time and carry. Well, 12 minus 4 is, what, 8, 9, yes. Ooh, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep, 8. And then 1 minus 0 is 1, and then 1 minus 0 is 1. So she should have received 118.42. 118.42. All right, and number 3, it is on the back, and this is number 3. So Vanessa had 400 minus, 63.8. So she's going to have 400, and she wrote 400.0 minus 63.8. And so she saw that I needed to borrow all the way from here. This turns into a 9. This is a 9, and I have a 10 here. And then she saw that this was 2 decimal. 9 minus 6 she got as, 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3, and then 3 down to 0 is 3. Now, was Vanessa correct or was she incorrect? She was correct in this problem. All right, let's look at letter C. Choose the operation needed to answer each problem. Write a numerical expression that can be used to find the answer, and then simplify the expression. So Jerry combined 1 1/3 pounds of meat he bought at the grocery store with 5-6 pounds he had in the freezer. How much meat did Jerry have in all? All right, so he bought 1 1/3 pound at the store. He had an additional 5/6 at home. How much meat did he have in the freezer? Okay, so here's my expression. I'm going to add the 1 1/3 plus the 5/6. Okay, it's asking me to simplify, so let's go ahead and do 1/3 plus 5/6. Well, I cannot add my fractions yet because I need a common denominator. I know that I can change the 3 into 6 by multiplying both the top and bottom by 2. So I'm going to have 2 over 6 plus 5 over 6. I can now add these two together. 2 plus 5 is 7 over 6, which this can turn into a mixed fraction because 6 can go into 7 one full time with 1 left over, and I stay the exact same thing. And now I need to go back and add in my whole because I had 1 whole. All I did was just add my 2 smaller fractions together. So I have 1 and 1/6 plus 1 whole to get me that Jerry has 2 and 1/6 pounds of meat. Now, how do we know which operation to use? Well, I know that it's going to be add. Okay. And then how I knew what we were doing is I want to know this right here, in all. The words in all told me that I'm going to add my 2 fractions together. All right, number 2, a recipe for a snack mix contains 2 1/3 cups of mixed nuts, 3 1/2 cups of granola, and then 3/4 cups of raisins. How many more cups of granola are there than snack mix are in the snack mix than raisin? Wow. Okay, so I want to know, am I going to be adding or subtracting? And I see that I want to know how many more are going to happen. So I know that I am subtracting. All right. And I'm told because I want to know how many more. Okay. So how many more cups of granola are there than raisin? Well, I know that for granola, I have 3 1/2. Okay. And for raisins, I have 3/4 cups of raisins. All right. And let's just go ahead and leave the expression. I'm not going to make you do it. All right. And then the last one, it's on the equation back here over here. But let's go ahead and read it. So Nathan has 2 dogs. He gives one of them 2 cups of dried dog food each day. And he gives the other one 1 cup of food each day. If he has 5 cups of food in the bag, how much food will he have left after he feeds them today? Okay, so I'm looking right here, so I know my equations. So I'm going to rewrite what I know. I have 5 cups in all. Okay, I know that 2 cups goes to 1 dog. 1 cup goes to 1 dog. Okay. And I want to know which one of these shows me how many cups, or will I have, I think it was, how much food will he have left? Okay, I want to know how much is going to be left at the end of the day. All right, so do I have F is equal to 2 plus 1 plus 5? Well, I mean, think about it. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 2 more is, what, 8? I have 5 cups in all. I can't have more than 5. So I know that A and D are gone. So now that I'm left with this, I am left with B or C, where I have 5 cups is equal to the amount minus 2 minus 1, or 5 is equal to 2 plus 1 plus the amount. So which equation do we think is going to give me the correct answer? And that is going to be answer C, because I'm going to add 2 cups for 1 dog, 1 cup for 1 dog, plus F cups for leftover, and this should equal 5 in all. This one is telling me take the leftover, subtract 2 for 1 dog, subtract 1 for 1 dog, and that's going to get me 5, which that's not even possible. If you guys have any questions, please let us know.